Welcome back to the Side. I'm Hanger. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for August 20th, 2023. Now, we do have some Transformers news, a lot of small stuff going on, but we have a bit of everything. A little bit or a big bit of He-Man Masters of the Universe stuff to show. We also have some oddball things that we will be talking about. And some Star Wars, which it's not a lot of Star Wars news, but there's a little bit of Star Wars news. And there's a bunch of other stuff in the middle, but it's kind of a light week, so let's get into it. Coming up. Starting off with what's new at Showz, we have the Magic Square MSB44A Kin. This is their Ironhide, and I'm guessing they'll put out the Ryu, which would be their Ratchet. I do have the original molds, but these are going to be the painted version, and so more preferred, I believe. But the only one that they show so far that's been announced is this Ironhide, and of course, firing back. Shots fired, right back at good old New Age. $1 down and no price, generally around the $40 mark, and availability still not sure when it'll be released. The MMC Ravage Ocular Max, this is the cell shaded one, or the cell Ravage with cage. I don't think it's cell shaded. This one's a little bit lighter. It's not the jet black. It's more of kind of a grayish tone, a dark gray to it. But it is an awesome, amazing mold. Chance to get that again. I'm glad they're putting it back out. And it's going to include the cage, is what it says. So that's up for pre-order right now. Also, if you're undecided on a Minosaur option, there is the DX9 coming out as a box set of 5 for $400. It's $3.99, and then you get the double discount if you put your $5 down. So pretty good that they're doing a set. Extra Translots hasn't done a full box set of these just yet, and the fact you get them all in one shot for $400, that's cheaper than if you were buying them originally. Sticking with box sets, Moon Studios putting out a box set for $600 of their Radatron, and if you're in on this, if you maybe you didn't keep up with them, maybe you missed out on these and you want to go at it right now, or maybe you didn't pre-order them when they were just 100 each and they were like 125 each, so now you get them $600 for 6 figures in a box set. That would be $600. Anyway, you can pre-order all this stuff over at Showz, and don't forget to enter TH as reviewer code if you want to. No pressure. In other news, Agabus still has this available. This is the KFC P6X Shard BotCon 2022 exclusive pre-order. So I did look it up. It still looks like it's available and not out of stock. So it says it's a pre-order for it. So anyhow, if you're in on this, you want to get one of these. It's a 2022 BotCon, so I guess they're getting it back in again. Okay, so there's this. I'm not sure if this is going to be Masterpiece or more of the Chug scale, but it's called the Honqi CA770, and it is not something that's really intended for the U.S. market, but it's a transforming figure that turns into what I actually thought it was a limo. It turns into, but it does turn into this car, which I think is kind of cool. It's sort of like something the head of state would be driven around in. So kind of an interesting, cool concept that is something different, not really based on media that I know, and I don't even know where to get it just yet, but figured I'd show so that if you're interested in it, you can start looking around for it. And here's the back of the box, more information if it's something that strikes your fancy. I think it looks really cool. It's very interesting, and it's not something that I've ever seen before, so it does actually look like it's well done also. Okay, so we got pictures of 3 Zeros Optimus Primal, 11.2 inches tall, 74 points of articulation, and that is it. It's a higher end DLX Deluxe line. And you knew what's coming, Rise of the Beast, Optimus Primal. And if you're in on this, you might want to check it out. I think these things sell out pretty quick. And 3.0 also has their non-transforming MDLX Shattered Glass version of Optimus Prime. So this one is 17.8 centimeters. It's roughly 7 inches tall, around there, somewhere like that. So anyhow, there it is, and that's a little shorter than the YOLO Park Megatron that's coming. YOLO Park Megatron is going to be like 7.8 inches, so it's about 8.8 inches shorter. But it seems like this MDLX line scales really well with the mainline Hasbro stuff. I don't know if I like teasers or hate teasers, but this teaser comes along and really all they're saying about it is that it's a robust and smart base for auto-converting Optimus Prime. So what does that mean? Is that where it's going to charge, or is this going to have a function? Is this thing going to be expensive? Is this thing going to be $300 too? I'm kind of thinking that why do they not have something like the base kind of rotating and moving and having the armature move, and maybe you put it in a kind of a flight pose or like a jumping kind of pose on that base, and then lights flashing around it. So there's a lot they could do, but I'm sure we're going to see exactly what it does. It's not just going to be this static and standing there, is it? And this is more mainline than Masterpiece, but it's Takara. And Takara is making the missing link, which is the G1 Optimus Prime that has articulation and is just different. It's cool. The thing is that what I didn't know is that this matrix chamber is removable, so you can make it look like the original G1, or you can put the matrix in there. I actually didn't know that it was a chamber. I thought they made the matrix fit into that compartment. So you got a whole matrix chamber, and it's removable, and you get a matrix, and it's really cool. But they didn't put this picture out last week. Came a few days after I was doing my news, so there it is, and that's another really cool option. So I wonder if and when they do other characters, what kind of improvements and components they'll add into other characters. Okay, so there's not a lot of news for Legends. I think the biggest news was that Ironhide, but this is something that I'm extrapolating. These are about Legends scale, maybe even slightly bigger than Legends scale, but around Legends scale. 12.5 centimeter tall G1 figurine. Now, a figurine means that it doesn't have articulation. And I'm looking at them thinking, hoping that there's some small amount of articulation, but there's no articulation. They just come pre-posed, but they do look good on the shelf pre-posed like this. Now, these are made, this is a blind box of G1 figures by Pop Mart for the Chinese market. So I don't know if there's a way we can get our hands on them in the US and the States, and I don't know what the price is. And again, with the blind box, I'm not a fan of that. I know that's something that little kids are into. Maybe this is targeting kids. I don't know. But I think they do look great. And if there's a way to get like a shot, you get a case and it has one of each of them in the case, then that would be awesome. It's also kind of interesting that they're doing the Devastator as kind of like a Build-A-Figure. Or I'm not sure if that's the only Devastator, or there's two different Devastators, because it's a little confusing with that. But it is divided into pieces inside Bumblebee, Ironhide, Jazz, Rodimus, Galvatron, and 6-shot boxes. Again, blind boxes. Still, after reviewing a Legends scale Devastator and getting to see this is kind of cool, kind of interesting, but the New Age and the Magic Square are going to be way better options for your Legends scale. So we got better pictures of painted, I guess, prototypes of model kits from YOLO Park. Now, these are about Legend scale. These are 10 centimeters tall, and it's a model kit line of classic G1 characters. These minifigures come pre-painted and pre-assembled as with the main bigger scale AMK series ROTB model kits. So here they are, and we're looking at the Megatron. I think he looks pretty good. So if you kind of think this would be about Legend scale, and there's the Optimus, which I think the Optimus seems to be a little bit weak in the chest. I think his chest is a little small, but looks pretty cool. And then Bumblebee, and I can't put my finger on it, but Bumblebee looks a little strange, but still, I think they're interesting options. Don't know the price just yet, and I'm curious how expensive they'll be. Will you be able to buy them in a set? And really not much more on Legends, so we are going to transition to Hasbro Legends, and this is a Optimus Prime Clear Core class, so sticking with the Legends scale, sort of, and this is going to be included with a new Japan-exclusive Fanbook 2023 exclusive Optimus Prime Clear Red version. So with the Kids magazine, with games and quizzes now featuring Transformers characters, it's an exclusive Optimus Prime, which almost impossible to get your hands on this guy, but still, it's kind of cool and just something to be in the know about. Okay, so we have some pictures from member Trans Mimi, and this is the Transformers Studio Series Movie 15th Anniversary Decepticon Multi-Pack Voyager Megatron. And it seems to be a straight repack of the Studio Series 54 Voyager. So, Voyager scale. and I think that it looks good as movie Megatrons go. I do have pretty much all the first run of Megatrons for the first few movies, and I think this looks better. The Studio Series does one up all those original molds and designs. They make them better, and they look better in the Studio Series, but this one has kind of a nice shiny looking sheen to it. I like that. But here it is next to Optimus Primal. Here it is next to a Siege version of himself, I guess, Megatron Siege. But I want to back that up too, and I want to say that I'm not a fan of the Siege mold of this Megatron. So I just wonder when Hasbro's going to put a good Megatron out, because it's been a long time since we've seen anything other than a Siege mold, and this is just a different iteration of it. But Yolo Park is going to have to be taking care of Hasbro customers. Is that what's going on with their Megatron, their non-transforming Megatron? All right, so JT Prime 17's brought us a whole slate of new listings, and so this is Legacy, Studio Series, and exclusive figures. So we're just gonna go down this, and this is like the rumor list that has always come true. So, so Uni Core Energon Galvatron Core Rock 2, which I don't know what Rock 2 is. I hope it's a Rock Lord, but it's probably not. It has nothing to do with that. Deluxe Slipstream, Deluxe RID Sideburn, Deluxe G1 Quake, Voyager Animated Motor Master, Voyager Metal Hawk. I think we've seen that. Capsule Seekers, Star Seekers. What is a Capsule Star Seeker? That's cool. Star Seeker Deluxe Assortment, Star Seekers Capsule Deluxe 1, Star Seekers Deluxe Road Pig, and then Star Seekers Deluxe Lockdown, Star Seekers Deluxe Filch, and then Star Seekers Voyager Ferox, and then Seekers Leader Thundertron, and then we get into Core Steeljaw. Core Steeljaw, that's awesome. Core Frenzy from the movie 6, Deluxe movie 7 Wheeljacks, and then this one confuses me though. An 86 Gnaw, same as the original release, so they're just re-releasing Gnaw. You know, Gnaw yo. And then Deluxe War for Cybertron, Decepticon Infantry. Then we have Deluxe Next Generation Bumblebee, Deluxe HM Megatron, Movie 6 Skywarp, War for Cybertron Ratchet, Movie 8 Optimus, and 86 Bumblebee, I guess, coming out again. So, really, a whole lot of stuff coming on the way. Some of it's reissue, some of it's re-releases, and a departure from just being all G1, which is fine with me because I don't want to spend that much. Okay, so we've got Studio Series Snarl starting to show up at retail, which is fantastic. And this is Magnus Wave 931 who's sharing this, and Wave 12 Leader Class. And the thing is that it's GameStop, and GameStop's been back on their game. I mean, back in like early 2020, GameStop was the place to find everything early. And then late 2020, they didn't get anything. They were way late, and now they're getting back on their game. And I think that's because of the slowdown in the secondary gaming market. But with that, this was found in New Jersey, and I just want to say I haven't seen them in the wild yet. I'm sure we will eventually, and I think that this will probably sit on shelves for a while once they start hitting full force. So I did get mine from BBTS just so I knew I had it. But when Swoop comes out, I'm going to have trouble not buying several Swoops because that's my favorite Dinobot out of all of them. And I'm excited for that. Swoop will finish the team, but if you keep it in the box, none of it's going to match. Okay, so Hasbro is creating a new entertainment division based on the remaining portion of their sold company, E1. And with that, they are going to embark on a new chapter building upon our rich heritage of storytelling and continue delighting audiences across generations. They want to say that Hasbro is currently developing and producing over 24 projects based on major IPs like Dungeons & Dragons, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Nerf, Play-Doh, Magic the Gathering, Peppa Pig, and My Little Pony. Here's what I'm reading out of all of this. This is my take on all of this. First off, I thought that they were just like done with Dungeons & Dragons. The movie, I think, did well. Probably better than or right what they thought. Better than some of the other ones. But the product just kind of stopped flowing. And it seemed like they just canceled go for it product. the product itself didn't sell the modern stuff. I think that the retro stuff sold the best. But what this shows me is that they're more concerned about properties they own and not the ones they're licensing, like Star Wars or Marvel or any of the other ones that they're licensing from Disney or someone else. They are more interested in their core business, which actually, as a company, it makes a lot of sense. But Transformers is still top of their list. All right, so getting over to Ramen Toy, we're going to talk about a few things. They have said that their release order, or more or less their pre-order window order of pre-orders, is Marshall 1st. So putting up the Marshall 1st for pre-orders, and that's pretty exciting. I look forward to it. We have not seen this brand get touched in decades, and it's a whole lot of fun. Heck, there's only 9 figures in the original line, so I mean, it wouldn't be hard to, they'll at least bang out half of them, I'm hoping, and modern iterations. So there's going to be a couple bad guys go along with it in the 3030. But first pre-order will be Marshall pretty soon, and it should all happen between the end of August and the middle of September. Okay, then they're going to put up the Gull Wing. It's not the red Gull Wing, it's the Gull Wing. This is the version 2. This one is to comply with all of the requests that were asked of them to comply for Hasbro. And so they're doing it. And this is going to put out, it's going to have sticker sheet instead of tampographs. There's going to be a whole lot differences to it, but it's still the same thing. It really is at heart the same thing, and once it's all done, it's all going to look amazing. So there's going to be improvements to this, but it doesn't have the tampograph paint to it. And then they're going to put up pre-orders for the standard order for Great White. So all this stuff should be coming pretty soon. Now go over to Kato's Collections on YouTube, check out this. He got the prototype. He got 2 prototypes that are basically glued together, so you can't really see all the functions like you'll see in test shots that'll go out and stuff, but you can see the aesthetic and how it looks and kind of how it's going to operate. So that is pretty cool. And so really excited that we got to see everything that's going to be happening with this thing for the most part in a very close-up look with Kato, so good job right there. Okay, so I said this was some oddball stuff. This is the McFarlane Movie Maniacs Jumanji Wave, and it's interesting because these are not action figures. These are actually little statues that are $25 statues, and they are in the 6-inch scale. They should fit with the rest of your 6-inch stuff, and they look really good because they're statues, and there's no articulation, so there's no cuts. So this is like the extreme looking good if you're into Jumanji, which it's not really a property that I'm excited for. I mean, who's not excited for having another Rock figure, you know? Rock, pretty cool, but this is kind of bringing some ideas to light, like some characters that would look amazing as 6-inch statues to just mix in with the rest of your collection. And would you do that? Would you have a one-off figure to mix in that just looks amazing? But they do come with this and some backgrounds and stuff. But Jumanji, I don't think it's a property that is highly sought after. And that's another interesting thing. People that are into this probably don't get much product. You know what doesn't have any shortage of product? That's NECA Turtles, or any turtles. There's like 5 companies making turtles now. I still think NECA is the best, by far, the best turtle making company out there. And I think they're running out of stuff to make. So this turtle layer, the sewer layer, that is $300. The entire internet's on fire, upset about this. And I'm wondering what they expected to sell. Did they expect to sell, say, 10,000 and are only selling like 300? I don't know. How many people are actually paying up $300 for this one little box with some accessories in it? I have no idea. I'm not in on it. I'm not that into the turtles, but I try to keep up with the figures. But the rest of the community is really upset about this, and rightfully so. This is really way over the top expensive for what should be some very simplistic, in fact, simplistic and redundant. They should be able to reuse the tooling for the 2 sidewalls and the pipes, and so it really, this is definitely overkill on price for $300. When you look at the thing that sits on top of it, it's like $115. I think that's, if that's the same one that they're selling on on PBTS for $115, that sits on top of it, but the little box at the bottom's $300. That's insanity. That just blows my mind. I mean, if you really think about it, where's the math? Let's do the math on this. It doesn't make any sense. It still doesn't make any sense. I think they're counting on the fact that everybody's buying this street scene, and you got to have the sewer one to stand on top of. No, you don't. You really don't. And don't forget to get the accessory set. The accessory set is coming up, and it's actually up for order right now on the nextstore.net or com or something like that. So go to the NECA store and order it if you're in on it. You have till September somethingth, and yeah, 3 weeks is going to go by fast, and then you're going to be trying to pay a scalper for it. So get it while NECA's offering it. And it does kind of suck, though, because you will have to pay separate shipping on it if you don't order a couple things at once, and they usually don't have a lot to order at once. But yeah, NECA store accessory pack. Okay, thanks to the tie box, we got an in-hand picture of these Mondo Battle Cat with the Battle Armor He-Man on top. And I want to say it looks fantastic. These always look fantastic. But I also want to say is I just don't understand why people want 12-inch Masters of the Universe. But then I kind of have to look in the mirror and say, well, but I like the Masterpiece Transformer. So this is the Motu Collector's Masterpiece version of Master. You know, this. I was thinking Masterpiece was like classics, but no, Masterpiece is Mondo. So that's what's going on here with the 12-inch figures, and they look amazing. Okay, Target Fall Geek Out is back. Looks like McFarlane's going to be doing some stuff on the 25th, and then September 1st, we're going to have some Lego stuff going on, and then Mattel and Xbox on the 8th of September. Then we got Hasbro on the 15th of September. 22nd of September is going to be Funko. I don't know what's about that. And then NECA on the 29th. And so one thing about this is that this is a time that they flood stores with product, and if there's something in there you're looking for, then it's really awesome time to get your hands on it. So that's a plus. But then again, they flood the stores, and sometimes there's product that people don't want, and it sits for over a year. Okay, so they've updated the date to August 28th for this G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Valkyries 2-pack, and this is the female Cobra officer and trooper. Thing is, I don't remember what the original date was, so I don't know if this is moving up, back, delayed, coming sooner, not sure. But if you're really looking forward to this, I'm sure you knew the original ship date, allegedly, and there it is, August 28th. Okay, so this week I had a little bit of time to look around and try to find any information about when we're getting this Crystar figure, and found nothing. But I did find some people saying that there's a lot of collectors on some forums and some groups talking about how they're not happy we're getting a Crystar, but they're not getting a ROM figure. So with that, I'm sure there's plenty of room for both in the Marvel team to make ROM and Crystar. But the truth is, Crystar, they could just recolor a lot of these and make 4 or 5 figures, 4 or 5 of the characters with this one mold, and make them all translucent, slightly different colors. Some are green, some have the purple boots, some have the green boots and tights and all that kind of stuff. So with that, I think that this has a lot of room to grow. I don't think ROM does, but either way, I think they could both get made. What do you think? But I really want this supported. I really want to see this made, and I'd like to see a whole line. Okay, so getting into some Star Wars news, I think they're moving up one day on starting their 2-episode premiere of the Ahsoka TV show. I'm going to watch it. I'm not sure what to expect from it, but I'm pretty sure people are excited for it, so I'm going to check it out. And the family always watch these Star Wars ones as long as we still have Disney Plus. I don't know how much longer we will, but we will be checking this out ourselves. And with that, it starts on August 22nd, so that's pretty soon. So we got pictures of the retro collection wave here, and so with that, I don't think people get excited about like the Boba Fett series or the Obi-Wan series or seeing any of these on the retro collection card backs, because retro collection should be what the original vintage Kenner, and they should finish that line. That's what people want. But with this, after buying Reva for $2, that whole wave, that whole Obi-Wan wave for $2, I'm thinking this is probably going to go the same route. Probably see a little more Grogu selling than the rest of them. Maybe some Sand People for some troop building. But for the most part, I do not see this wave selling out everywhere. But anyhow, there's the pictures. And Jedi Temple Archives. So Jedi Temple Archives has a comparison of the first run of this vintage collection, Sail Melee or Yak Face versus, well, they compare it to everything, pretty much every Yak Face ever made, but side by side with the first run. So the left one is the second one, and the right one is the first one. And I do see a few differences, like the coloration of the staff, slightly different colors on the paint apps, and slightly different colors of the cape and all that. But I think the card back is the one with the biggest change to it. And overall, I'm glad we got this, but nothing really does beat what they should make this in retro collection. They should make a retro version of this, like a Kenner version, because that's what people want the most, and not the modern iteration that looks fantastic. No, most people would much, much, much rather get the retro collection version. That's my opinion. Am I right? And we have the Ghost update. There's about close to 11,000. They're about to unlock the first unlock, and they've got 17 days to go to get up to 18,000. So I don't know if it's going to do it or not. I'm not backing it because I just don't see the point. I don't really want it. It's not something on my bucket list, and I'd be buying it and probably just wanting to resell it. So why bother? I could will one into existence, then sell it, maybe break even. I don't know. But I don't really care for it. It's not an original trilogy. It's not something that I feel is really important. I think it's cool, though. It's a really cool ship. But at this point, I'm not a Star Wars completist. They lost me. So there's no need for me to get this. And a lot of people, I think, are in agreement on that. Although it's a cool ship, and people that are really excited about Rebels are really excited about this ship. And I'm glad they're getting it. So anyhow, if you're going to get it, support it and help drive to 18,000 and get those unlocks. So yeah, pretty short week of news. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What cool stuff's going on out there that I missed. Like and subscribe, and have you ever hang out?